Welcome to the Investment and Strategy Committee for December 2nd. I am the Chair, Grant Berg, also on this committee, Councillors O'Connor, Councillor Bressy, and Mayor Clayton. If I can get somebody to adopt the agenda, please. Councillor Bressy.
So moved.
Call the question. Carries unanimously. No delegation, so we'll go to reports. Service area update with Chief Bailey.
Thank you so much, Chair Berg. So this morning we'll start with sports tourism. Grande Prairie hosted the School Sport Alberta 3A Volleyball Provincials. That was November 28th to 30th, where we welcomed 24 teams, which is about 385 participants from across the province. The Mayor's welcome letter to the teams was very well received, and the city contributed $6,000 in sports grants to support the event's success. The estimated economic impact is approximately $160,000 from this volleyball event, and that's through use of local amenities. Moving forward into Invest Grande Prairie, for those listening in, tickets are now on sale for Growing the North Conference. As a reminder, that's the region's annual economic development event focused on innovation, industry, trends, and collaboration. The conference will be held February 17th to 19th at the Tara Centre. The InvestGP team is participating on the Growing the North Organizing Committee to help shape the event, and speakers have now been finalized. There's some great speakers, so all details are available on growingthenorth.com if you're interested. Since its inception since 2010, Growing the North has supported elected officials and entrepreneurs in exploring economic development opportunities and advancing innovation across the region. And finally, as a quick recap, the Council's Interfaith Lunch on November 25th was a significant success, bringing together more than 80 attendees from a range of faith communities. And the event was created and shaped to create new opportunities for collaboration and connectedness across the community. Thank you, Chair Berg.
All right, thanks, Chief Bailey. Any questions? Mayor Clayton.
More of a comment on the 3A volleyball provincials. Happy to say that the Peace Wapiti boys team are the provincial champions, and the St. Joe's girls team won a bronze medal. So both Grande Prairie teams did extremely well, and great news as they represented us at the provincial level.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Clayton. I appreciate that update. Anything else from committee, council? All right, moving on to 4.2, the Grande Prairie Traditional Powwow update. Chief Bailey.
Thank you so much, Chair Berg. Earlier this year, Council directed administration to provide an update on the 2025 Grande Prairie Traditional Powwow and planning underway for 2026. So today's report is going to highlight a really successful community event that supported our relationship with Indigenous partners and welcomed thousands of visitors to our region. I'm now going to ask Mr. Tawes to walk Council through the details.
Mr. Dawes.
Mayor Clayton, councillors, colleagues, the annual Grande Prairie Traditional Powwow was held on June 20th, 22nd, 2025 at the Tara Centre at Evergreen Park. This three-day event celebrated the three original cultures to inhabit this land, the Beaver, Cree, Métis, and the event was open to all and had free admission. And allowed Indigenous people to celebrate their culture while introducing and sharing it with others, thus promoting reconciliation. Some of the events included pipe ceremonies, grand entries and retiring the flag ceremonies, drum roll calls, intertribal dances, hand games, princess pageants, honoring Indigenous graduates. We had 43 this year, Métis event, and a committee giveaway. Attendance was over 3,000. We estimate 3,400, 3,800. We did take postal codes at the door, and approximately 40% of our visitors came from over 100 kilometers away. Well, not surprisingly, many came from Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan. We did have visitors from the Northwest Territories and Ontario. And we even had one group from as far away as Belgium. The planning committee was chaired by Warren Neckarak, consisted of 22 people who liaised with other volunteers and organizations to ensure the success of the event. The budget was approximately $180,000, with most of the revenue generated through community and business donations. The Powwow Committee is grateful to the city for their large-scale tourism grant of $50,000. Planning has already begun for the 2026 Powwow. It will be again held at the Tara Centre The Terra Center proved to be very successful for this event. They have camping nearby, and a lot of families choose to make a weekend out of the event and include camping. And also the venue is air conditioned, which really helps in the hot weather. And this year, though, in 2026, it will be a 2-day event, and it will be held on June 27th and 28th.
All right, thank you, Mr. Taz. Any questions? Councillor Bressie.
Great, thanks, Chair Berg. I'm just curious with Warren who's chairing it?
Right now, it's Wendy Goulet and Omarla Cook.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Taz. Councillor O'Connor.
Yes, Mr. Taz, this usually receives a $50,000 large-scale tourism grant, and I'm just curious if Ms. Bieberdorf would be able to update us is there a timeline where that grant will cease, and what is the plan going forward if that funding is not available for them?
I'll let Ms. Bieberdorf grab a chair and a microphone.
Thanks, Chair Berg. So there's a 5-year limit on the large-scale tourism funding. So they've been funded a few different ways through some sponsorship and through large-scale tourism the last couple of years. So they still have a few years left where they would be eligible.
Yes, is it beyond asking a question? I know it's a free event, and is that part of the condition to hold on a powwow that it is free admission?
Ms. Bieberdorf?
Thank you, through the chair. So generally, we fund ticketed events for large-scale tourism. This event is not ticketed, but it could go either way. We funded events that have tickets and funds that are free of charge as well. So it's up to council's discretion.
Yeah, I was just curious as to whether or not they're missing an opportunity here to set themselves up for long-term funding by start to increase a fee just to see that, number one, getting community impact, raising some funds for future endeavors, and to possibly help the community by, if they don't have money to be able to promote to it, but bring a food bank item and support local charities by doing that. So I'm just throwing that out for the organizers to be able to find out if they're looking long range, how do we make sure the longevity of this event?
Through the chair, I can certainly bring that idea to the committee.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else with any questions? Just one question, and I do know the answer, but just for public consumption. When will the ask for the grant or sponsorship come forward?
For the large-scale tourism grant? Through the chair, the due date is February 1st, I believe, and we'll have the application in before that date, but I don't have an exact date
That's
right
fine.
now.
Yep. Generalities is good by me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Berg. If you don't have the answer to these questions, Mr. Taz, that's fine, but I'm curious, two things. The powwow moved to Evergreen Park for multiple reasons, including that they were hoping to utilize camping, etc. Do you know how well that went? Was there a lot of people camping? Was there a lot of uptake on that?
Through the chair, I don't have particular numbers, but I do know that it was well received and that there were quite a few campers, but I don't have specific numbers.
That's good.
But it was mentioned many times.
Okay, and then the other question I had, do you happen to know our municipal partners' levels of sponsorship in regard to this event, the MD, the county, any other municipalities?
I do have a budget here through the chair. I do have a budget in front of me here. The MD of Greenview gave $1,000. A lot of the county funds were in kind because of the Terra Center rental. I'm not sure if I've got that.
Sorry, do you know on that? I mean, the county doesn't own that facility. The Ag Society gave gift in kind. What was the county gift in kind?
Here's County of Grande Prairie. It was $20,223.
In a cash sponsorship.
In kind, it says.
Okay.
Ms. Bieberdorf?
Thank you, through the chair. So the county provides funding to Evergreen Park through their community grants program. So it's a gift in kind from Evergreen Park, but a cash grant that goes to Evergreen Park from the county, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. I'll take that away. Thanks.
All right. Anything else? Saying nothing. Thanks, Mr. Taz. Really appreciate the report.
Thank you.
And thanks, Ms. Bieberdorf, for jumping in. Councillor O'Connor? I'll get down there. Oh, yeah, go ahead. You're fine. Jump in.
Thank you. I'd like to move that committee receive this report for information.
All right, call the question.
Bressy in favor.
O'Connor in favor.
And that carries unanimously. Mayor Clayton.
I just had a question relevant to the previous topic, and maybe Ms. Bieberdorf could come to the mic. Remind me, in the large-scale tourism funding, I know most of the criteria is coming to mind, but remind me on the criteria for funding an event that's not within our own municipality and the expectation of other municipal partners' support of that event, if there's any criteria as such.
Ms. Bieberdorf.
Thank you, through the chair. No criteria. It just indicates specifically that they can also host events at Evergreen Park or the Sportsplex to be eligible for the grant, but nothing specific related to municipal partner funding.
Okay, and can you tell me in regards to large-scale tourism, I know it's been a while since we revisited that that program. Can you tell me how long it's been since we talked specifically about the criteria?
Through the chair, I would say it was probably a year or two ago.
Okay, and I guess a question for the CAO. If council wanted to have a conversation on that, is it inappropriate now that there's already intake on applications? Would it be best following, or when could council have a conversation about large-scale tourism funding?
CAO Burke.
Thank you, Chair Berg. As council do have discretion in funding, I'd say that there's an opportunity at any time. I'd say, in fairness to the groups that are applying, that be sooner than later. So if there is interest from committee, we would schedule that early in the new year, I would say.
Okay, thank you. I'll keep that for now.
Okay. Thanks, Mayor Clayton. All right, with that, move on down to the outstanding items list. Again, Chief Bailey.
Thank you so much, Chair Berg. So we are requesting a couple of updates today. So we're pleased requesting that item 1375, which was the driving range covered at the budget, and 1354, which is the powwow report covered today, both be removed as these specific items have now been completed. Of course, engagement with Nighthawk continues, but in terms of those two specific items. Finally, we're also requesting that item 1353, which is a rural renewal stream, be moved to Q1 2026. The reason for that is the Government of Alberta has paused that program throughout the fall and winter to assess next steps, and the adjustment will allow us to return to Council with a more comprehensive update on the resulting changes and impacts unrolled from the Government of Alberta.
Okay, thank you. I do see a couple of other items for Q4, so we still have a little bit of time on that. But 1372 Grande Prairie Airport Economic Framework Q3. Do you want to update a date on that one?
Thank you. CAO Burke will speak to this one.
Okay. CAO Burke.
That's one that we're still doing some background work. We will likely ask for that to be moved to Q1, but we'll give an update at the next committee meeting.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Can I get a motion? Councillor Bressy.
So moved.
Call the question. And with that, that carries unanimously. And with that, I adjourn the Investment and Strategy Committee meeting for December 2nd. Thank you.